Hey, welcome to the Sherdog Radio live recap for UFC 322. I'm your host, Ben Duffy. With me, instead of Keith, is Devin Tejada, host of the Check the Kick podcast. Dev, how you doing?
Jack should have probably checked some of those kicks from Islam.
Yes, he should have. We will certainly get to that when we get to it. Keith is actually on location at Madison Square Garden tonight. I assume he's at the post-fight presser right now. We'll see if we get him to check in at some point, but definitely appreciate you stepping in and helping us out tonight, Dev. So we had a historic pair of champ versus recent ex-champ super fights. Two fighters moving up, looking to claim two-division glory. In the main event, Islam Makhachev, the former lightweight champ, stepped up to challenge welterweight Jack Della Maddalena. 50-45 felt a lot more lopsided than that to me.
I didn't answer your question. I'm doing well. I'm happy for once. Like I got some picks right. Boy, interesting night of fights throughout the whole card, even like down on the prelims. Islam, dude. It's like that could have just been me in there. The same thing would have happened. Like it was like there was, yeah.
It was rough. I mean, obviously it was a complete washing. Like what I love that they bothered to put up a stat on screen in the fifth round showing Islam's takedowns, and it was 1-0-1-1-1 because it only took the one takedown each round, and that round was fucking over.
I realized something about Islam tonight too, is he may be the best fighter at just like taking advantage of the tiniest mistakes his opponents make. Like any little mistake that Jack made, Islam was all over it. And then it was just curtains. Like Craig Jones, all he could do was just keep Islam or keep JDM from getting finished. Like that's basically it.
And to Della Maddalena's credit, he spent, I think, 20 minutes of a 25-minute fight fighting for his life underneath the scariest top position grappler in the sport right now. And on at least 3 occasions, Islam Makhachev tried to lock up his patented sort of shallow Darce choke, and he defended it perfectly each time. But that's it. Like, all he did was survive. It wasn't even the striker versus grappler thing where, well, for as long as they're on the feet, he has a chance. He's just got to split the guard, put one up. No, he was losing the striking too.
There was one moment, I believe, like in the third round where Islam, had like a tie clinch and Jack ripped a few, like a combo to the body, just whap, and then ripped one up over the top. But like, that was the only moment he had in this whole fight.
That was the only.
He won one sequence.
Yeah, there's one 10-second segment out of the entire fight that, yep, he won that. Like after the fourth round, when he got up, I'm not saying he was, but he looked like he was about to start crying. It was about as beaten as I've seen a defending UFC champ ever, and I'm putting it down 1/3 to frustration over how badly he was getting out wrestled and out grappled, and about 2/3 to how bad his left shin hurt.
And I think also paired with that 2/3 is how he couldn't get anything done on the feet when the opportunities were there. Like Islam's range management on the feet was spectacular. His check hook was great. He was just throwing little clean 1-2s, forcing Jack to keep his guard up. And then, I mean, the takedowns were like, just like a takedown dummy. JDM trying to hit a hip toss on Islam in the second round, like it was the same thing as him jumping guillotine against Basil Hafiz as well. Like you cannot make a mistake like that against Islam. It's just, if the doors open this much, Islam's just going to kick that fucking thing wide open.
And then the inverse is true going the other way, because he is about as airtight as they get on top.
Just nip tuck, like no mistakes. You're not going to, like, I'm fully confident that Islam could park in someone like Charles Oliveira's guard for just an hour straight, he's not getting triangled. He's not getting arm barred. Like, he
No.
just doesn't make
Yeah.
mistakes.
It's airtight. It has got to be. It's got to be demoralizing.
I might have put this in the Sherdog Slack, but like, this is worse than just getting like flatlined the way that Beneil Dariush did. Because
absolutely.
This is demoralizing where Jack's like, I'm never going to be the world champion if this guy's alive.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing you can take back to the drawing board other than wait until Islam Makhachev is not the other guy anymore.
He would need to be literally reborn and start training again from a child. Like, there's no catching up one could do. Like, if he had a hammer, the fight might have looked the same.
If I'm struggling to find much more to say about this. Like, normally the problem we have on this recap is a fight's over in 90 seconds and Keith and I run on for 22 minutes about it. Here, the fight went 25 minutes. It felt like 50 minutes, and I can't think of much else to say about it in terms of X's and O's. I'm ready to move on to what's next for these guys, unless you got any other thoughts.
I did really enjoy this. Was the most like boisterous and loud I've seen Islam like on the mic post fight ever. Like, I made it a point to watch the post fight. Poor Jack didn't even get a freaking mic, dude. They like ushered him out of there as fast as possible.
This is the first time Islam's ever looked like he enjoys fighting for a living. It's
the weight cut. He even said, he's like, I feel brand new. Like, and you know, I say bring all comers because I'm not sure if anyone's doing anything to this dude.
Yeah, like now we know. Like, Khabib's idea of a vacation is punching Conor McGregor in the face. Islam's idea of a vacation is being able to order the large fries. Like, hey, he's a happy man.
He looks big too. Like, all week people were like, JDM looks bigger than Islam. Well, a lot of people I heard were talking about that like stupid grip strength thing where like Islam's got like the second highest ever recorded, but it's, you know, not everyone's grabbing it the same. It's no true test, but like clearly at 170, Islam is also just insanely strong. Like, yeah. I don't know what people are going to do with this guy.
Nonetheless, somebody's going to be up next. Who should it be?
Who it should be versus who it's going to probably be. He said Trump open up the White House. He's probably going to go beat the shit out of an old ass Kamaru Usman at the White House next year. Do I think that's what he should do? No, but that's probably what's going to happen. In reality, it should be like Michael Morales, but it's probably going to end up being like Usman at the White House or something. He called for it, and he's going to probably get what he wants. Dana did, based off the performance, Dana did not seem upset to have Khabib, Usman Nurmagomedov, Hasbulla, all of those dudes, and like Dana had a smile on his face after this fight. So it's probably Usman at the White House, but I think it should be Morales.
Yeah, in terms of deserve, I think it probably should be Morales. He's 18-0 at this point. He is still dusting people. I mean, we'll talk about him when we get to him. What do you do with Jack Della Maddalena?
Jack Della Maddalena should fight Carlos Prates as a main event in the Apex in the first quarter of 2026. And if Carlos Prates wins, then he can fight for a title. I think that would be a fun ass fight.
I don't hate that at all. What I had was the loser of Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Gary, who are fighting in a couple of weeks, but I like yours just as well. Yeah, JDM versus Brady. Porsche throws out there. Like, I don't hate that either. Before that, the co-main event, the women's flyweight title up for grabs, or so we thought before they actually started fighting. Valentina Shevchenko defending against recent former strawweight champ Zhang Weili. I was wrong on a lot of fights on this card. It might be my worst night of picking fights in 200 events of doing the Sherdog previews. I think I got like 6 fights in a row wrong, including this one. And I don't care particularly about getting the outcome wrong. This is an individual sport with, frankly, inconsistent judging and lots of chaos. So I'm not mad if I get the result wrong. But if my whole read is dead wrong, then I'm like, oh, damn it. I did not think Weili Zhang was going to get ragdolled by Valentina Shevchenko. Like, I thought Zhang was going to be able to hold her own on the ground. I thought it would not be entirely up to Shevchenko whether this fight took place on the feet or on the canvas. I could not have been more wrong. Like,
it's really funny because if you produce the show for me, which I really, really appreciate, but you probably don't listen to it.
I have to listen to it. I produce it.
I was like kind of spot on with this. I was just like, yeah, I don't see how Zhang Weili doesn't at least get out wrestled like this for 3 rounds. And then Valentina Shevchenko is just so nip tuck on the feet where, I mean, this was even more one-sided than JDM versus Islam, in my opinion. Like, if it wasn't Weili's just brute toughness, like those kicks to the body, like she almost got finished to the body like 5 times in this fight. She has a hell of a poker face. It wasn't just the grappling. Like the grappling, this fight could have just been on the feet. I mean, what was it in between the second and third round? John Wood is like, you can't get taken down anymore. You need to stay at distance. You need to strike at distance. And I'm like, yeah, that tells me they're already out of options. And then between the 4th and the 5th round, they're telling Zhang Weili to wrestle. I mean, John Wood might have just been singing Cotton Eye Joe to Zhang Weili in the corner because nothing mattered.
I agree. I agree that it's not. I agree that it's not a good look when you're telling the fighter that's 2 inches shorter and giving up like 3 inches of reach to stay on the outside. But in a perverse way, he might have been right, because bouncing into range and landing one low percentage haymaker might have been her best chance of winning this fight.
Honestly, I think the best chance of her winning this fight would have been like a DQ. this was Shevchenko is just, I mean, her footwork was too good. It wasn't, I really hated that the commentary really like hyper fixated on the weight thing, because they're like, it's the difference in their abilities just has to be based on weight, because it's so like, it's so, the Grand Canyon, but nah, like Weili just wasn't technically good enough anywhere. Like her striking wasn't good enough. Her footwork wasn't good enough. Her power wasn't good enough. She hit Shevchenko with one elbow, nothing doing. Like it was just, not only was she not physical and strong enough to keep up with Valentina, but she just did not have any technique like her. Everything was just, anything you can do, I can do better. Shevchenko was just better literally everywhere. And it wasn't even by a little bit. It was by significant margins. Yeah. This fight looked like Zhang Weili it looked like Valentina Shevchenko was supposed to fight someone else, and Valentina ended up fighting Weili like on short notice. Like this was an opponent that happened overnight.
Well, even a couple of years ago, when Shevchenko was coming in as like 6-1 and 8-1 favorites over people, and they actually hung around for a while and kind of gave her a fight, this is what those fights were supposed to look like. Like, this is how bad she was supposed to beat someone like Tyler Santos.
This was like damn near a pick 'em all week. Shevchenko closed at like -130, and when I was doing my show, I'm like, this seems like free money to me. Or like, so many people were like, Zhang Weili's gonna run through her, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Not always right.
But you're dead right on this one. And there's ones that I just see real clearly, and this was not one of them. So thank goodness Rogan asked Weili the question that's probably on everyone's mind, back to 115 or staying at 125. She said, I'm going to take some time off and think about it. I appreciated that.
Yeah. And there's nothing to think about. Go to 115 and just get your belt back and just, resume
Like Mackenzie Dern is like sending candy grams and edible arrangements and shit to like Whaley Shock's house.
Something, like
Yeah. Send her some Fogo de Chão gift cards, send her to that churrascaria where they like keep bringing you the meat. You don't even have to be able to get up. Yeah.
like just tons of gift cards for like Cheesecake Factory, just all the Olive Garden, all the, all the restaurants that'll keep her heavy. Whaley should not stay at 125. She ain't beating Tracy Cortez probably at 125 after what I saw tonight.
That's what I found myself thinking kind of once we were into like the third round of this fight and it was pretty obvious how it was going to go. I started wondering, okay, now that I was wrong to a certain extent about Zhang at 125, how would she look against Blanchfield or Cortez?
She'd lose them both, in my opinion. And I'd probably pick Jasudavicius to beat Whaley.
I would say that Jasudavicius in some ways would be at least as tough a matchup for her, just because she is so big and she's such a good wrestler. So rather than pick a specific opponent for Zhang, I was really just wanting to ask you, 115 or 125. You seem to believe in her at 115. I'm actually fine with either because I don't know how much more she has to prove at 115. So if she even wants to do the Jose Aldo bantamweight thing where, I may not win a title, but I'm doing things that add to my legacy here. Yeah. Like Jose Aldo snagged some elite wins at 135 after everyone assumed he was done as a top level fighter. So I'm actually fine with whichever she ends up doing. Valentina Shevchenko. Antoine Willis puts it out there. Names are in people's mouths going both ways. Like Kayla's been saying things, and it's got to be tough to be Kayla Harrison and be so huge. And like, you're calling out the defending like flyweight champ, but what do you want out of Shevchenko?
I want whatever she wants at this point. Like, if they're going to do like some crazy UFC 300 type shit to the White House card, just shove her on there fighting Natalia Silva, maybe the third fight down from the top. That probably what makes the most sense.
Okay. But so if she stays at 125, you're thinking Natalia Silva's the next one.
Yeah. And I don't think she should move up to 135 because number one, Kayla Harrison, I made this argument with Dane this past week about how the UFC should just like bump the two women's divisions at the bottom up 5 pounds and then just turn 135 to like women's heavyweight. Like just make it like 140 to 165. And then the UFC could squeeze like 5 or 6 fights out of Kayla if they told her, hey, you could show up at 165. She'd fight 3 times a year. But making her cut to 135, she may fight twice more professionally, period. And I think before Kayla Harrison fights anyone, she's going to want to fight Amanda Nunes, which that'll probably also be on the White House card. Like that just seems like very White House card type stuff. If something happens with Amanda Nunes where she does not decide to come back, then I think that's probably the next biggest fight you can make. More than likely, Nunes is coming back. More than likely, it's against Kayla Harrison. So I think Natalia Silva for Shevchenko is going to make the most sense.
And the thing is, if Nunes beats Harrison, I could see her retiring again, especially if the next name they give her is someone she's already beaten twice in Shevchenko.
And this Shevchenko versus whatever Amanda Nunes shows up after a long layoff, getting older. One thing about Shevchenko, she's getting older. It's really weird too that like Shevchenko was crushing, like lapping the division in the beginning of the women's 125. Then they seem to like kind of catch up to her a little bit, but she's just putting her foot back on the gas, and she's kind of, like I know Zhang Weili's coming up from 115, but like based off of the way Shevchenko looked in her last 2 fights, like she looked pretty damn good against Manon Fiorot, and she looked real fucking good tonight.
Yeah.
She's like 37.
She's 37. She's had a long MMA career. She had a long Muay Thai career before that. She's not one of these people that had like 10 fights. Like there's no box rec or Sherdog or Tapology for Muay Thai and kickboxing, like not one that's complete in any way. But I wouldn't be surprised if she had 100 Muay Thai and kickboxing fights. Like she had a serious globe-trotting career. Like
I was thinking 3 times that.
It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
Like smokers and shit included. You know, like on low-key Kyrgyzstan, like her mom was like a multiple Muay Thai world champion. So like I know like she's probably been fighting people since she was 4.
Yeah. And anything else to say about this one, really?
I really did like Shevchenko's intercepting tools. Like she crushed Zhang Weili with one. Like I heard you could hear Weili go when she got knee to the sternum. Like what was that in the second round? Where like she pressed up against the cage and Shevchenko just met her with that knee. And she dropped Weili with the knee in the second round. You know, she just ended up like turning it into a takedown. Dude, Valentina looked like a freaking buzzsaw tonight, man. Like everywhere was, you know, minus that one little elbow with the clinch break. Like this might be like her best performance as a champion, like outside of kicking Jessica Ai's head off. This is against Zhang Weili. She made Zhang Weili look like a punk.
That's actually where I'm going with this. I think this is Valentina Shevchenko's best career performance. It's probably either this or arguably deserving to beat Nunes in their first fight.
Yeah. Shevchenko, I mean, I'm okay with anyone calling her the best women's fighter. Like, there's her close fights with Nunes up a division. Like, she's good.
She is good. Like I'm almost to the point where I will entertain someone other than Amanda Nunes being the greatest female fighter of all time. I'm almost to that point.
If she gets one more title defense under her belt, like I'll pull the trigger. And I'm pretty sure she's finally got like all the rubies and shit. Like now she's just collecting all the other gems, like sapphires and like God knows what, turquoise. Like what? Like she's got every birthstone on that thing at this point.
Yep.
She seemed motivated too. Portia Baines mentions that she seemed motivated. I think she seemed real motivated this camp.
Agreed. She probably on some level understood that she was the one who was risking more here.
Totally. She's not the one going up. This was a win. This was kind of almost a win-win for Weili because Weili can literally just go back to 115. She's never had issues cutting to 115. Just, you know, and I'm sure you and I and everyone in this chat right now would favor her to beat Duran, and she'd probably be like a minus 300.
Yeah. Before that, a welterweight contenders fight between Sean Brady and Michael Morales. This was not close. The revelation isn't Morales's reach or speed or power. It's just how comfortable he is as a sprawl and brawler.
This was like a Francis Ngannou type performance from him. Like he did not respect Sean Brady. Like he's like, first off, Sean Brady looked like a 155er in there compared to him. And you and I both know he's fucking huge.
Yeah.
But even like Brady landed like several check hooks, but it was like just like getting bit by a mosquito. Like Morales just walked him down, threw bombs at him, had no respect for him. He wasn't even using technique. Like he was winging big wide shots. Like his jab looked good, but like, and Brady is such a physical force in this division. Like for him to just go like, it was like if you went to your local middle school and just fought like a child. Like that's what it looked like. Like he bodied him. Like
just absolutely
everything hurt him.
Everything hurt him. you did bring up the one thing I kind of wanted to get at, the gap between how good, just how clean and straight Morales' jab looked, and he's getting his jab to the point where he throws it at a couple different speeds. He'll throw it to the body and to the head. He's becoming a weapon jab guy. The difference between how beautiful that was and just how wild some of his haymaker follow-ups were, and on some level, yeah, it's probably because Brady had given him nothing to worry about. Like there wasn't even much coming back at that point. But there are people that will make him pay for that.
Some sharp counterpuncher may end up just taking his head off. But he's got the confidence of a dude that's less than 30 years old, that's 18-0, that's huge, knows he has power. He's leaning into every single physical advantage he has, which is the smartest thing to do.
So you've already said what you think should be next for Morales. Like, he deserves the next title shot. I assuming that Shavkat is not ready to go, or if Shavkat's ready to go, he deserves it either way.
I don't think the UFC is going to put him in a fight with Islam Makhachev. Like, it just seems so. Like, Morales is great. He's super young. He's undefeated. It would actually be a hell of a scalp for Islam, but at the same time,
especially because you could see Islam like whooping Morales, and then Morales going on to win his next 11 fights and like defend the welterweight title 3 times or something. Yeah,
I think he's good. I mean, I'd like to see him fight the winner of Bilal and Ian Gary, especially if it's Ian Gary.
Yeah.
I think I would love to see if we, as much as I don't personally love Ian Gary's personality, like he does have high fight IQ. And I think that may be something Morales is lacking. Maybe it's, or at least shown yet. He's probably very capable of it, but he's just so gung-ho and so physical that he hasn't really had to lean on his fight IQ like we've seen Ian Gary have to. I'd be really curious to see if he could crack the code. And same with Bilal. Like, we know Bilal is a guy outside of his fight with JDM. We know Bilal is a guy that's usually very well schooled, comes with a very good game plan, and really puts stuff together properly.
Any other general thoughts on this one before we move on?
Brady, this seems like a little bit of an exposure for Brady too. If you can force Brady on the back foot, he's hittable and he kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
The last 2 people that have really stuck a good jab on him and forced him to take the back foot, it shuts his wrestling game completely off. Yeah. And he can be hurt. He can be clipped up. It's something to get knocked out by Bilal, but like this was very like, he just fucking crumbled under the pressure. It was just like a tidal wave.
Yeah. And I'll give Brady this. After the Bilal fight, his first career loss, he came away from that with a couple of obvious items to take back to the drawing board. The one he really did seem to fix, like the whole problem of him burning too much of his own gas wrestling and wearing himself out, where he was, gassing out late in fights even when he was winning, and then Bilal just ran him into the dirt in like under 2 rounds. He can fix this as well. But if he's a guy that needs to be on the front foot and needs to be the better wrestler, and he's going to be smaller than most of his opponents, it's all of a sudden turning into he's going to have to kind of thread a needle to string together wins in the welterweight division. So
he really just kind of like reminds me of a guy that fought tonight in Pat Sabatini, where like they can look really great in some fights, and then like there's clearly also just going to be a ceiling. And I think,
and it's for some of the same reasons, because Sabatini is kind of short and compact as well, and I think he's probably a little better overall striker than Brady, but has some of the same problems. I think that's a good comparison.
And I'm also probably ready to say too that I might not be surprised if that Leon Edwards fight is the like highest watermark for Brady, because now that I've seen 2 dudes go out there and just get on the front foot, stick a jab on him, and his like offensive grappling fall apart, like I would not be surprised to see like, you know, what shot like Shavkat could totally repeat this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about a lot of guys, like even Usman coming back. Like if Usman and Brady got paired up, I'd pick Usman.
The way we saw Brady tonight, I would tend to agree with you. And you mentioned that the high watermark for him might have been his win over Edwards. That's a great segue into that win not aging super well. As in the fight before, this was a card full of shit that we have not seen before in the UFC. One thing, on the list of things we have not seen before in the UFC is Leon Edwards staring up at the lights, not having any idea what country he's in. Wow.
I got something.
Oh. For those who don't know, that is Devin Tejada smoking a Black and Mild. That's basically the shoey of tobacco products right there.
So I have a gimmick. I made a promise that if Prates knocked out Leon Edwards, and if he was the first person to knock out Leon Edwards, that I would smoke some tobacco for Carlos Prates. He's got a swagger about him, doesn't he?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Even in the first round, like he lost the first round as bad as you could lose it, like a round against Leon Edwards. And even like with the back take, he's like, this guy ain't gonna do shit to me. Like his face, like he was doing what the young kids call mogging. Like it was just like he's talking to Edwards. He just,
you know who it reminds me of, the kind of the reactions in fight and just the obvious kind of confidence. Anderson Silva. I'm not saying he's the next Anderson Silva. I'm just saying it kind of reminds me of how in the middle of a fight he'd be like defending takedown, just looking down like, what are you doing to my leg?
Like this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
And you know what, dude? If he ends up being half of Anderson Silva, that's a very good fucking thing.
Yep. Fantastic performance from Carlos Prates. And for those who are commenting in the chat, I believe Dev might be the first person in 10 years to smoke the actual tobacco out of a Black and Mild.
I inhaled that shit.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, that's how you do it.
Like I live down here in Houston. All I know is that Swisher now sells just the wrappers without the shit in the middle. So that's great.
That's sad. That's actually sad. I grew up in Miami, dude. So Black and Mild.
Yeah.
That's
Black and Mild, Swisher. I grew up on the East Coast, Philly Blunts,
Touch Masters. Now the kids smoke backwoods. Prates is in this fight. I thought he the first person to knock out Leon Edwards. Like that's a big thing. But I did think there would be like multiple Nate Diaz moments in this fight where like Leon Edwards just like made a mistake. And it's really interesting that he got hit with like a big southpaw cross kind of in a real similar way that Nate Diaz just crushed him. Like he just stopped moving, stood flat-footed in front of somebody and just got lit up for it. Like Leon has been hurt in a lot of fights that he's been in, even fights that he's gone on to win. But you cannot make mistakes like that in front of a puncher like Prates. The way that Leon's head went backward, I feel so bad for the dude too, because like that, there's like one image where his bald spot, and then he just like fucking whiplash.
Yeah, that male pattern he got going on in there, that's some struggle. One of the rarest things in MMA is tall, rangy fighters who actually use their height and reach properly. To have back-to-back fights where guys in the same division in Prates and Morales did that, it's heartening. Makes me wonder if this sport might be headed in the right direction.
Oh,
at least technically.
And how good is fucking welterweight, man? Like, just is welterweight the best division right now?
It might be the best top 15.
And it's certainly one of the most entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
You've got like these punchers that are like just surging up through the rankings, guys like Shavkat Rakhmonov that are, just violent finishers. Even, people are going to shit on Islam for this for this performance. I haven't been on Twitter yet, but I'm sure the Dagestani hating fan club is, or I guess the unfan club is going to be chatting tons of shit on Twitter. But when you got a guy like Islam up at the top, that's just so locked down. There's so many different styles. Prates, Morales. I mean, it's really, really fun.
Yeah, it's probably going to be an exciting next year or two in that division. Before that, the main card opener, Beneil Dariush, Benoit Saint-Denis, a lightweight plus fight as Dariush missed weight by just a pound or so. Maybe that would have helped his chin some, but he's
done.
He's done. And it's sad.
That shot that he got hit with on the ear, like every fighter on this card got hit with that same shot. Like that's not, it was a great shot. They were in the clinch. And I mean, how many times have we seen Beneil die in the clinch now? Like Arman Sarukian killed him in the clinch. And
yeah, he's 36 and looks 50, but he's always been vulnerable to getting jumped on early and clocked by somebody with fast hands. Like in his supposed prime, like early in his UFC run, like Alexander Hernandez just lamped him in like 40 seconds. I'm trying to remember the other guy that just really, really wiped him out early in his UFC run. And it's another guy that's nowhere near as good an overall fighter as him.
I know Chiesa like subbed him real quick.
Yeah.
But he's been hurt so many times, and the way that BSD just like threw two uppercuts and then whipped that one right around the like it was a beautiful shot. But like, I mean, I just think Beneil's chin is gone, man. Like now more than ever is someone able to just jump all over him and crush him. And it was Alex Hernandez, but I believe there was another person that crushed him real quick and easy too. Beneil was fun while it lasted, and I'm glad he got that last win against Moicano. And I mean, if he can get out of the first round, he's going to probably do good. But heck, I don't know if he can. I mean, BSD hits hard, but I mean, BSD was in there looking like Dustin Poirier.
Yeah. Good win for Benoit Saint-Denis. It's a good scalp. It's a good trophy for the case, for sure. I still feel the same about him that I did ahead of this fight, where I think he's this generation's 5 years younger Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler type, where he has the full offensive skill set, just a serious arsenal, and the aggression to be basically a highlight machine, but aggressive to a fault, and just enough defensive lapses that it's hard to see him stringing enough wins together to, win a title, like let alone hold on to it. But he's going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun for however long this lasts.
I'm getting text messages from my wife, and you may think she's complaining about me smoking the Black and Mild indoors, but no, she actually wants it. Real OG. South Florida.
Your girl is hood as hell, dude. That's amazing.
Yep. Just text me right now. She's like, I'll take that when you're done with it. Dariush, BSD, I feel good about him, but you're 1,000% right. And I think he's even more defensively porous than Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje. But he's definitely an offensive dynamo. He's going to always have fun fights because either he is going to just lamp somebody or run headfirst into a wood chipper like he did against Moicano or Dustin Poirier. But either way, it's going to be a good ass time. I did enjoy him jumping on the cage and like doing the belt sign.
Yeah.
I'm like, brother, you're like, shoot for the stars, land.
I appreciated it. Like that took some balls. B Cooley calls him a Drew Dober type. I like that as well. Just obviously he's a much better grappler than Dober, but in terms of just being the aggro highlight machine guy, he's probably just going to win 2, lose 1 for a good long while.
And him being French, like, totally helps with that. because the UFC loves loves a card in France. Him finishing fights the way he finishes them and getting finished the way he gets finished, like it's dude's a highlight reel either way, which it's good fun. I enjoy.
He's what the UFC wishes all their French fighters were, but we end up with a lot of Imavovs and Morgan Charriers that aren't the most exciting all the time. Yeah. That's the, or did you have something else on that?
No, I was just going to say he definitely embraces like the God of War mantra like that. That's totally like,
so former Special Forces paratrooper, hard dude. Yeah. That's the 5-fight main card of UFC 322. You know what? If we have time, we will do a get to know your host question. Guys, throw out some ideas. If we reach a logical break in the action, I'll fish one of the questions out and we'll answer it. But let's move on. The top prelim, a middleweight matchup between Bo Nickal and Rodolfo Vieira. An old school style versus style matchup straight out of 1996, as you had the former 3-time Division I national champ and near Olympian against the multiple-time Mundials winner, one of the 2 or 3 best heavyweight grapplers of his era. And so what we got, of course, was just a blistering knockout on the feet. Talk to me about this. Like, I know that you are not a believer in Nickal. So just tell me what was good, what was bad. Like, if you're revising any of your opinion of him, like, how do you feel?
I mean, I kind of clearly have to revise my opinion a little bit, but I also think Vieira fought absolutely terribly against Bo and had an absolutely abysmal game plan. Like, you saw RDR press him, put pressure on him, stick a jab at him, go to the body, and then you're just like standing at range going tit for tat with him. Like this was a really poor game plan from Vieira, in my opinion. Like, at least like triple up your jab and force him on the back foot. Like, but if you're going to sit there and just like let him feint at you, pick and prod with shots, like Bo Nickal ended up just like piecing up Vieira. He looked good. Like, he looked confident. I don't like his striking mechanics when it comes to defense. Like, he'll throw shots and he has his chin up in the air. He doesn't keep his chin tucked. But like, if you have an opponent that's not willing to expose that, it doesn't matter. The head kick was great. Like, that was like some, Robert Whittaker type shit. Like, he hit it behind the strike. He threw the kick. Like, he's clearly learning things in camp. This is going to be a good win for him as far as, helping him get back on his feet, because I'm sure he felt really defeated against RDR the way that fight went down. And this will definitely, fill his gas tank back up. He's going to feel a little bit more, better about himself moving forward, which is probably going to be good. I really just want to see someone that's going to like get in his face. Like, I want to see what happens when that happens, because we didn't learn in this fight that like the RDR game plan wouldn't work again. We learned that you can't just stand in front of Bo Nickal if you're a bad striker.
And I agree that he still commits some serious lapses defensively, but overall, that is so by far the best his striking has looked in his career so far. Like, it was a curiosity before, but obviously he landed some head kicks on people, but everything was just so disjointed. Like, footwork terrible, not throwing in combination. Like, it reminded me of like earliest John Jones, where he would do like a head kick and then nothing for 5 seconds, and then a spinning back elbow, and then nothing, and then like a kick up the middle. Just basically like button mashing on a controller that's battery is running out. And then all of a sudden here, like, he set up that head kick, and you kind of talk towards it. Like, I don't think he's Robert Whittaker yet, but demonstrable.
Even if he's this much a Robert Whittaker,
like demonstrable improvement. And for everything he said this week, and he really took the kind of analysts and pundits to task that were questioning his commitment to MMA. And as one of the people that did that, I'm okay with it. But more than him saying that, to see the measurable improvement in his striking tells me more about his attitude towards his fight career than anything. Because if he really was just like, well, I'm one fight into a new fight, 4-fight deal, I might as well at least cash the other 3 checks, he wouldn't be continuing to improve. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, clearly he cares, like, which is good. I'm glad they actually shoved him on the prelims. I think, he probably needs a little less pressure. I think that the UFC realized that they don't need to gas him up as much as they did, and he got a lot of boos and had a lot of hatred from the fanfare going into this. I don't hate the guy.
No,
I don't hate any of these fighters.
He needed to be brought along like
the right
slower.
way.
Well, look at the top 2 fights on this card. Look at Islam Makhachev and look at Valentina Shevchenko. Look at the kind of people they were fighting in their 6th, 7th, 8th professional fights. And before you talk about, well, Nickal has this background, Islam Makhachev was a former combat sambo world champ, and Valentina Shevchenko was a top 10 kickboxer for years. Yeah. And nonetheless, they were built up so much slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so,
I mean, people talk about Khabib's record, for example, but like, look what he became. Yeah. Like the first 15 don't matter if the last 15, look the same, and same could be said for Islam. So, maybe Bo needs to just continue to be like slow rolled. He's probably not going to fight the guy that called him out on this card, Baisangar Susakayev, but like, like, you might beat him. Probably would.
I mean, we'll talk about Susakayev when we get to that fight, but yeah. Now, he has sort of become a character with enough profile that they can't really give him steps back. Like, I have the feeling he's going to get at least names like Rodolfo Vieira types for as long as he's around. He's kind of stuck in that Say's Northcutt spot, where they're paying just a little too much for him, and he has a little too much name recognition to just, stick him on the prelims against another Valentine Woodburn type. So,
and middleweight's loaded with dudes like, middleweight is loaded with dudes that he can totally just, they can put him up against like,
they're signing up so many not good middleweights from the contender series, even ones that lose on the contender series. Like, you can give them Jackson McVeigh, but
or like Andre Petrosky would like make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, like SOS Rampages just threw out Petrosky's name. Iron Report throws out Kelvin Gastelum. See, that'd be a smart move right there. Gastelum has like great name value. Marc-Andre Barrio. I don't hate that either. I mean, the thing about if they did Gastelum has enough name recognition that they could make that like a fight night co-main event, or whatever the equivalent of a fight night is this coming year.
If Kelvin, keep him away from Kelvin Gastelum, because, dude, if Kelvin Gastelum does go out there and beat Bo Nickal like that.
Jason Mandonodalar says Bo learned to jab. You know what? Agreed. At least he's throwing jabs now. Like, that's the first step.
He's throwing jab. At least he's learning how to set up his strikes. Keep him away from dudes like Hobocop for now. Like, keep him away from like the big punchers. But there's like Dustin Stolzfus, Mike-Andre Barriol, Petrosky, like there's tons of good fights for him out there that he can just continue to just learn and build up and become that blue chip prospect that he was kind of meant to be.
Before that, we had Roman Kopylov and Gregory Rodriguez in another middleweight clash. Talk to us about this one while I type a response here.
Kopylov, I mean, I'm a huge Hobocop fan. Like, he is one of mine. He's just like a dude that I'm always going to show up to watch. So I'm happy that he won this fight. I really loved his footwork, his cage cutting. Like, for a guy that has like a major grappling background, like he's a hell of a striker. He's got good power. He's maybe not like the most durable dude in the division, but like, tell me anyone on the roster that's more fearless than Hobocop. Oh wait, you know, he's willing to just land with big power, willing to get on the front foot. I'm concerned about his cardio because even in the third round, like, he kind of left the door open just a little bit, but then he pressured and landed back on Kopylov and pushed Kopylov back on the back foot. He kind of left the door open just a hair for Kopylov to do a little bit, towards the front half of that third round, which started making me a little bit concerned. But besides that, he kind of just, took a page out of the Paulo Costa game plan and just pushed him back on his back, pushed him backward. Kopylov doesn't fall apart on the back foot, but it really, really puts a stranglehold on any of his offense. And Kopylov's kicking game couldn't really get going. His jab is pretty good. He landed a couple crosses on Hobocop, but Hobocop's forward pressure, his cage cutting, and his big power, and I was surprised by Kopylov's wrestling defense. Like, he kind of shucked Hobocop around a couple times with the defense, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah, it wasn't enough is kind of the best way to put that. Good fight, though. I keep writing off Gregory Rodriguez, not writing him off as in he's never going to win another fight in the UFC. He's going to be gone in 6 months, but just he's probably done improving. He is what he is, and he just keeps tightening things up a little bit by bit. It's still hard for me to imagine him making his way all the way to a title shot, but I picked him to lose this fight, and he looked pretty damn good. And it's not because Kopylov shit the bed. Like, Kopylov fought a pretty decent fight, and Rodriguez just, just like you said, it just wasn't quite enough.
His cage cutting and his footwork is improving, and maybe that's happening under Henry Hooft. I would love to see him go up to 205. Like, just do nothing besides cut less weight and see what your gas tank looks like when you can just be even more so on the gas, even more so on the front foot, because he fucking wrecked Jared Cannonier and then just fell to bits once he got tired, and he started to seem like he started flagging a hair in this fight. So I'd like to see him up, it's 20 pounds, and he's huge.
20 pounds, man. And yeah, there are some light heavyweights that would dwarf him, but that doesn't necessarily mean he'd have no chance of beating them. Just,
and he's huge. He was bigger than Cannonier, and Cannonier fought a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, like Johnny Walker dwarfs everybody, and he's barely above 500 in the UFC. So yeah, I'm all for it if he wants to move up. Yeah. For sure.
And I would not be surprised if Hobocop at 205 just punched Johnny Walker one time and he died.
That would not surprise me one bit either. Prior to that, a high-level women's flyweight contenders fight between Erin Blanchfield and Tracy Cortez. This, of course, is a rematch of their fight 6 years ago in what the UFC desk kept calling a regional promotion. I guess if you consider women all over the world to be a region, but Invicta's kind of got their own thing going, guys. At least look at the records while you're talking, huh? I mean, Blanchfield was heavily favored coming into this, even though she narrowly lost the first fight. So people kind of knew what was up. It was obvious that one of them had developed more than the other. Did anything about this fight surprise you?
This fight kind of, especially after what we saw in the co-main event, if Valentina's holding the belt, Erin Blanchfield's probably never beaten her. I was like, I'm just not convinced that she has the highest fight IQ where she's just kind of going tit for tat with Cortez on the feet. Cortez's boxing looked good. She was lighting up. She's lighting up Erin Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield kind of does she's not very athletic, and she's definitely not the most trimmed up woman in that division, and she was walking into a lot of shots. And that's something that she's always done. And probably will have to continue to do. She doesn't have very good head movement. She gets a little bit squared in her stance. She doesn't have a lot of good power, but on the ground, she's clearly a killer. That like rear naked choke with no hooks from the side, like that was really dope. And once it got onto the ground, it was kind of curtains. Surprised Cortez was even like trying to shoot in this fight. I thought that was kind of stupid. But speaking of people that, we said Bo Nickal looks like he's focused on his game. I'm not sure Tracy Cortez is so focused on Tracy Cortez seems like she's more focused on the hype and fame that comes with being a high level UFC fighter versus being successful as a high level UFC fighter.
Yeah. I mean, I always hesitate to speculate on what's going on inside a fighter's head, but with nothing to go on but the outward performances, I'm kind of with you. Well, just the fact that Blanchfield was a greater than 2-1 favorite in this fight just shows how much she's improved over the last 5 or 6 years, where Cortez is basically the same fighter that she's been the whole time. And yeah, some really iffy decisions here. She was, I thought, winning the striking pretty handily. And more importantly, Blanchfield wasn't coming back with anything to concern her in the striking. So to allow this fight to go to the ground just seemed odd.
And like, she didn't really like fight the choke hand. Like, yeah. But when you're showing up to a fight with fake eyelashes on, she did an interview with everyone's favorite interviewer, Nina Drama, this week, where she was like, yeah, kind of made a joke saying that she didn't know that Islam and JDM was like the main event of this card. Like, she was the biggest star on the card. You know what I mean? I just felt like that was a little bit, she was like, oh, my coach kind of made fun of me because I didn't know Islam and JDM. I saw Islam this week and I was like, oh, why is he here? And my coach told me that he was the main event. Like, she seems real disconnected,
Wonderful.
From like what's going on.
Well, now that this is out of the way and nobody wants or needs to see a trilogy fight, what's next? I'm seeing Grasso out there as the next name.
It honestly makes a lot of sense. I like Grasso. That was one of the names I had written down, and I'd like to see because I consider Grasso a better boxer than Tracy Cortez and one with a little more pop. Let's see let's see what she can do with her boxing, because Erin Blanchfield just is probably going to always remain very defensively porous on the feet.
And is going to need to walk the minefield to get her takedowns every time.
Yep.
She does not have a smooth shot from the outside. She's plodding forward, trying to run people to defense. Yeah,
no smooth shot. Period.
Nope.
If she's one of those tough cases too, where she had Tracy Cortez against the cage, and she just like, I'm like, the single's right there. Just go to the high crotch, like it's right there. And it's just something that's just not in her Rolodex.
Nope. If Dominic Cruz were calling this card, he would have been ripping them apart. Yeah.
I would love to see her go to a place like AKA or any or even like Uriah Faber's camp, like somewhere where they're like, let's teach you some wrestling entries. Like, let's teach you how to chain stuff together. Like, how do you go from like a low single to a high single to like the rear waist cinch? What do you, for such a high level fighter with such high level jiu-jitsu and grappling and topside grappling and she's really lacking the wrestling portion of her game.
Yep.
Because clearly when she gets fights to the ground, it's curtains.
And that's what she's gonna kind of live and die by. Just feels a little Dern like.
Well, AKA let her in.
All right.
Like go do some camps at AKA, because I know she has that really small circle around her, and she's remaining with that same camp in that New York, New Jersey area, like go get another look and go to a camp that like specializes in like true wrestling.
I would be all for it. Before that one, Ethan Ewing steps up on 48 hours notice, 7 days turnaround. Ethan Ewing fought in California a week ago today, knocked some dude out in like 4 minutes in Uriah Faber's A1 combat. Steps in against Malcolm Wellmaker, and he's the biggest underdog on the card, pretty sure. No, I think McConaughey was, but Wellmaker was like minus 400 or something. It's not just that Ewing won. Like, he won in a way that makes him look like he could actually be a problem at 135.
So, as you know, I picked Malcolm Wellmaker as my men's bantamweight for the Sherdog fantasy show that we did. And 3 minutes into this fight, I was rooting against Wellmaker and I was rooting for Ewing just because I loved everything he did. Like, you got a dude shelling up in front of you and you're ripping shots around the guard using like good head movement. You seem to be the more crisp boxer, cutting angles. Like, he really, really reminded me of like JDM when like JDM fought Bilal, like ripping good, like putting good combinations together, great head movement, good durability. He's got a big block square of a head too. Homie's probably got the biggest head at bantamweight.
It's very Drew Dober like that way.
Yes. And that's only going to benefit him for the game that he has. He was nasty in the clinch, nasty in close quarters. His wrestling, he was taking Wellmaker down. We had Wellmaker over swinging, had Wellmaker out of answers. And I talked about kind of Sean Brady getting exposed, but this was also like an exposure of Malcolm Wellmaker where like, if he can't set up that check hook after, once round 2 starts, like he's over swings on shit and stays in the pocket with his feet planted and shells up and doesn't have good head movement. Like, other people will be able to repeat this at men's bantamweight.
Yes, because honestly, the Rob Fonts and Adrian Yanez's of the world are watching that and like, yeah, I can do that.
I mean, like, what would Davy Grant do?
That
Davy
Grant, like Davy Grant, I don't think he's probably quite as fluid an athlete as Ewing, but somebody that comes forward and throws clean combinations and doesn't overswing. Like, I do love how B. Cooley pointed that out. He extends his combos and doesn't load up so he can keep placing shots. Yep. Like over the course of a fight, a 5 or 6 punch combo where everything comes in at 70% is better than cranking up to 115% overswinging on one massive haymaker.
He was pulling that check hook out of Wellmaker and then firing back with counters and then stringing combinations off those counters. He goes whoop, slip shots and then whap, 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 and then throw like 3 and 4 punch combinations. Like, low key, like sort of one of the best performances on the whole card. Yep. When you factor in the circumstances.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He's coming in on 48 hours notice. So it's not like he had exhaustive tape study on this guy. And that's why I took about 2 minutes to kind of dial in, realize what Wellmaker had. And then it wasn't a complete shutout, but it just got worse and worse for Wellmaker as it went along.
Yeah. Once Wellmaker got that like cut on his eye opened up, it was just like if he fell to pieces.
Yeah.
He was just technically, and we saw this a lot tonight, just technically inferior, and there may not be enough time to close a gap like that.
Yeah, because he is like 31 or so.
Yeah.
We'll see. Both these guys are gonna get more chances. So prior to that, middleweight action, Kyle Dawkins, Gerald Meerschaert.
Ooh.
If this fight had happened a couple years ago, I think I said this on the preview, if you just started them out in like a dueling headlock position, like the neck version of like a leg lock race, that would have been cool. But the thing is, all of a sudden, Kyle Dawkins sits down on his punches.
No USADA Dawkins. Let's go.
I mean, he still looks USADA era. Like he still just
Oh,
kind of got that. He looks like a giant. Giant Nate Diaz. You know.
Yeah, he looks like the dude that lives across the street that you don't really know, but you always say what's up to.
Yeah.
Like it just like a guy, you know.
Yeah, he's mowing the lawn in his flip flops. You know, you don't know what he does for a living, but you assume it's in an office. But Kyle Dawkins can all of a sudden crack, and that on top of a nasty front headlock game. I mean, he is 2 fights removed from getting cut and coming back through CFFC. I'm not calling him a future contender, but he is measurably better than he was just 2 years ago, and he's still not that old.
He is gonna be a tricky dude in this division because unlike Nate Diaz, he does seem to actually have some like true power. Where like when he sits on shit, and what is like the tried and true thing that every fighter does once they get buzzed real bad, go and shoot a bad takedown. And when you've got an insane, like he's the Darce Knight, like that's one thing that he's very good at. He's got an insane front headlock game, anacondas, Darce chokes. Like he's gonna just do that to tons of people. He's got good grappling. He's got good power. He's long for the division. Like if they continue to just give him like similar matchups, like I wouldn't be surprised if he just iced another dude. Keep Bo Nickal away from guys like Kyle Dawkins.
Oh goodness, yes.
But he looked good.
Mitla Mesh. I think Cody Haddon is. I even said it on the preview. I thought quietly he was as interesting an addition to the UFC as Wellmaker was. Just he wasn't getting quite the same shine because he wasn't undefeated. But yeah, I'm kind of a low key believer in Haddon. I had him to win tonight, and after what I saw to Wellmaker, I feel pretty comfortable with that.
I think Ewing probably beat both of them. I think he probably beat Haddon too.
I mean, it'd be a very different fight with Haddon. I think Haddon probably would have tried to take him down at some point.
Yeah,
but
he's the kid's good. Dawkins is good too.
Yep. Before that, one of the better fights on the card, more important fights on the card for its division, buried deep in the prelims, Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. This was a damn good fight. And obviously, coming from the background I do, you're not going to be surprised when you hear me say that I like wrestling and grappling heavy fights. Like as long as somebody's visibly trying to win the fight, I don't even care if there's some kind of stalemates on the ground or against the fence as guys figure out what they want to do. This was great, man. Like seeing a fighter who clearly comes from a wrestling background and has become an expert grappler against a guy that is just a pure scramble heavy, like jiu-jitsu guy. This was a hell of a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed this one. I have no problem with Sabatini winning the decision, even though might have been better for the division if Chepe had won, because I do think Chepe has greater ultimate upside. Like Sabatini beat Mariscal, but you know, you pick the same 10 featherweights out of the division, and I bet Mariscal does better against, you know, them than Sabatini does. But yeah,
I thought I didn't pick this fight publicly, but I thought Chepe would be able to like get on the front foot, pressure Sabatini, win the scrambles. But like what Sabatini did was smart. He was like, I'm not going to scramble with this dude. Like I'm going to get lockdown positions and control him. Like the way that he took Chepe's back and like got the body triangle, like that. This was just smart. Like how do you shut down someone that's like super scrambly, take them down and get into side control, or take them down, take their back and put them in a body triangle and you're stuck. I thought this was a really smart performance from Sabatini. I liked how also too, Chepe is usually the dude that's like, he's quick getting on people, like trying to force you on the back foot. Like Sabatini's like, no, dude, we got 3 rounds and you're not a dangerous enough puncher to like hurt me or put my lights out like other people have. So I'm just going to get on you and just, you know, go punch a hole in your chest. And that's kind of, he just chased down Chepe. And by the time Chepe could try to catch up, like just too much time had passed.
Yeah, I think that's
Chepe was getting up when there's 20 seconds left in the round. Well,
which
it's
not
done.
not enough time to do anything. Before that, strawweight action. Fatima Klein, yet another in the seemingly endless line of women, literally 15 years younger than Angela Hill, that she's got to try to turn back. Klein won. No surprise there. She was a big favorite. The surprising part to me was just how dominant and one-sided it was. Here's the thing. Hill has been a tough out and capable of making beating hot young up-and-comers in some cases, or at least just giving them a miserable fight that's probably a big learning experience for them. This was not one of those. Klein was bigger, faster, hit harder, and just basically had the advantage everywhere the fight went, including the clinch, which is extra impressive because at the core of Hill's surprisingly competitive late career run is that she is still just a bear in the clinch. But Klein was fine.
Portia Baines is talking about overkill, but like she now may be over Hill. Like over the hill.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Yeah, Angela over the hill, just like Ninja Kitty says.
Yeah.
I was honestly the most surprising thing about this fight was like how Angela Hill just like didn't get like knocked out from that head kick. Head kick that she just like ate. Klein is just like the new version of like women that are going to be really successful in this division. Like she was significantly bigger than Angela Hill. She was able to just any moment that Hill had on the feet, like it just didn't matter. Like she just wasn't going to ever be able to be punishing enough to like hurt Klein or stop Klein from getting off of her. We saw the only person to beat Klein in the UFC, and it was Jastovicius on short notice up a division, who just like out wrestled her. But like if that's your ceiling at 115,
she looked like a future contender. Like
100%.
Angela Hill is still somebody that's a good barometer of how much upside a prospect has. Klein made it look pretty damn easy. You know what? This is probably going to age well because Hill at age 40 is probably going to go win 2 of her next 3 fights. You know, probably hand somebody their first loss or something. But yeah, Klein looked great.
I'm curious to see like what they do with her next. Like, do they shove her in there against someone like Yasmin Lucindo, who I know is in the rankings, or you know maybe like a Lupi Godinez or something like that? But like,
those are the kind of names that you're gonna find. Like, if they really believe in her, they might give her another veteran that's similarly tenured and not quite as old. Like we could see like a Jillian Robertson type thing, or no, like like I don't know.
Tisha
they got plenty of
Torres.
time. Yeah,
Pennington,
I mean,
sorry.
Yeah, Tisha Pennington is still out there.
Did she call it Tabitha Ricci?
Did she?
I think she did. I'm like 90% sure she did, and I think that would be perfect.
It'd be a good fight. It might be a reach to call. I really didn't mean to do that. Yeah. They got plenty of time. What's he, 25 years old? All we got left are the 2 fights that I'm going to lump together as well, you won, but I'm not sure I feel any better about you fights. So do we want to real quick answer one of these questions that came through?
Yeah, and I liked the second one. The first music one, the music one would be great.
The zombie apocalypse one?
But let's do the zombie apocalypse one because I think that would be more fun. Even though we're both like music people, especially you.
Our man in Atlanta, Antoine Willis, asked where we go or what will we do to fight off a zombie apocalypse. As it so happens, I've thought about this a little bit. Mind if I go first?
Sure.
This one's real fucking easy. I'm going to Sam's Club. I'm a Costco guy myself, but Sam's Club has guns. So you go to Sam's Club. You got the place that's got all the food. It's got gasoline generators. It's got nice fluffy sleeping bags. It's got sports equipment because if this is a zombie apocalypse, you got to kill somebody with like a baseball bat with some nails driven through it, and they got all the guns. So yeah, go to Sam's Club.
Question for you, Ben. How many firearms are in the room that I'm currently sitting in, and how many firearms are within an arm's reach of me at this moment?
I'm going to guess there are 7 firearms in the room and you can reach 2 of them without getting out of your chair.
Okay, there's 3, and one of them is within an arm's reach. So I have the firearm part down. What I am probably doing, seeing as where I'm currently located, I would probably take all of my fishing gear and all of my resources, put them into my boat, put my dogs into my boat, and hook it up and drive way up into the national forest, really, really far. There are a bunch of warming huts up in the national forest by me where you have to get a snowmobile to get into there, but there's not too much snow in the mountains yet. So I would try to get up to one of those warming huts, stake my claim up there, and then let the winter snow fall. And then once that winter snow falls, I know no one's getting up there. And I think I would be able to just, hunt my elk, shoot some deer, have all my fishing gear. There's a bunch of creeks up there full of cutthroat trout, tons of water for boiling. I'll have my boat. If I need to go up and get into one of the mountain lakes up there, I could totally do it. I'd be away from population. And once that snow sets in through the winter up in the mountains, like you're stuck up there. You can't leave, but no one can really also get to you. I think that'd be a really safe place to go. And I've got lots of ammunition and quite a bit of firearms of all different types of calibers. I've got pretty much everything I need. I've got an axe. I've got a saw. Throw my saw in there. Make sure I've got plenty of lighters.
Beautiful. There you go. So I'm changing my plans. I'm gonna go hide out with Dev.
What's the best zombie movie of all time? Shit, I'm a zombie movie person. There's a lot of good ones and there's a lot of bad ones. And the problem is a lot of the bad ones are also good.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite zombie movie of all time?
Well, it'd be real easy to go with the original Night of the Living Dead. Just it was the first indie smash hit. It changed Hollywood forever. It's still a really good, really watchable movie. Or I could go more recent and the complete opposite end. Like I thought Zombieland was just silly, hilarious fun. Yeah.
Great. My personal favorite is the 2004 version of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh,
like
nice.
That to me, that's
I haven't seen it since it was new. Like,
yeah. That's the one for me. But I enjoy Z Nation. I think they shot a lot of that show out where I live. Actually, I won't if you know where they shot the show. What's a zombie movie in Montreal where the virus spreads through a phrase uttered over the radio? Another movie I really like that's like kind of zombie like was have you ever seen Cell with Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah,
dude, like some kind of weird, kind of creepy. I'm a fan of zombie movies, and I guess we're considering zombie apocalypse. Another reason why I would like to be up in the mountains too is because there's not a lot of people up there, so less people means less zombies.
I cannot fault the way you think. All right, thank you for that question, Antoine. We'll have to do that more often once Keith is back too. Just like crowdsource the question. Second fight on the night, Baisangur Susurkayev took on Eric McConaughey. So Eric McConaughey kind of looks like Khalil Roundtree Jr. if you squint, and Baisangur Susurkayev looked like he had the potential to be Shara Bullet with better wrestling and less of a Bond villain vibe to him. He won. He got the knockout. It's going to go down on his record as, oh, hey, he got another finish. But I don't feel great about Baisangur Susurkayev at this point.
I'm cracking up about the Ninja Kitty. My favorite zombie movie was my visit to San Francisco 2 years ago. Just the Fent zombies. I'm not hype on Baisangur Susurkayev like at all. Like he fought like a dickhead, and you're good. Like, you're going to need to respect your opponents at the UFC level. Quite frankly, you should always respect your opponents, because the same thing you're capable of doing to them, 99% of the time, they're capable of doing right back to you.
Yeah.
Makanoko like beat him up in the first round and like had a lot of success in the first round. He was crushing him in the clinch. Beisinger hit him with one clean shot, like after a ball shot and like on a weird, like, kind of rhythm break. So good for him on getting the knockout. I hate that he got the knockout, because he's not going to learn a damn thing from this fight. He's going to go into his next fight with the same swagger. And unlike Michael Morales, like, he's kind of defensively porous. His offense is good, but not great. And yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if his next opponent, if he gets matched up with someone like Bruno Ferreira and just gets lanced.
Oh, and you may be able to guess this, because I think I may have said it in the Sherdog Slack during the fights, but the vibe I got from him tonight was Edmund Shabazian, where, yeah, he got another finish, but he actually showed that he could be kind of muscled around a little bit, and kind of ran out of ideas and fight IQ when he couldn't just blister a guy and get him out of there in 2 minutes. It is concerning. Like, and he's very young, and he does have some obvious physical gifts. So I'm not cutting bait on the guy completely. It may be a Shabazian thing where he takes a couple of bad losses, changes camps, changes attitude, picks up some different skills, and comes back better. But the version of him I saw tonight is not going to be undefeated for much longer.
Especially at middleweight, where like there's a bunch of sneaky, just like really big punchers. I mentioned a dude like Bruno Ferreira, but like, or like, what if they shove him in there with like Nursultan Ruzaboev?
Yeah.
Some dude that's like, oh, you want to do like the all offense shit? Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see who dies first.
That's, yeah. He's gonna get punished for these habits, but again, super young guy with some gifts, so we'll see what happens. This fight, or this card, you can complain about the bun, the top and bottom bun. Like, most of the filling was pretty damn good. Like,
Wagyu beef patty,
stale
bun on the bottom.
Like, Slava Borshov took on Matheus Camilo, and again, Camilo won, but I don't feel better about either of these guys. I think Slava Borshov might have the worst defensive wrestling in the UFC, at least outside of heavyweight. And that, I'm not thinking too hard about it, but Matheus Camilo is not Islam Makhachev, and he got multiple takedowns where Borshov had not even reacted to the level change.
Like, if you're someone like Borshov, just like throw 50% of your punches should just be uppercuts against someone like Camilo, because if you're intercepting a takedown with the uppercut, great, the underhook's there. And if not, like, you're showing an uppercut to maybe deter. Like, if you're not gonna have fast reactions to, like, getting your hips out and sprawling, like, you need to have some other forms of deterrent.
Yep.
And like, those just don't exist.
Uppercuts and knees are pretty much what we have. It does. I mean, it does cast the idea of going to Team Alpha Male as a remedy for your wrestling in a different light, because he's been there for 10 fights now.
He's 8-7.
How bad must even like 44-year-old Uriah Faber, like, how bad must he just eat him up on the bats? Like,
well, they said, actually, the commentary said that he did like part of this camp in Thailand, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the like, for what? What are we doing at Bang Tao? Like, it's just like working on you're working on the wrong shit, man.
Yep.
It doesn't matter anymore, though. Like, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And yeah, he's a technically solid striker, but at this point, he's just not much of an athlete. He doesn't have the footwork to make his striking game work against UFC lightweights. He just to be a striker at lightweight, you need some combination of lateral movement, a sprawl, and underhooks, and the ability to hit with some amount of power while moving backwards. You need at least 2 out of those 3 things if you want to at least be like an Edson Barboza, where you stick around for 15 years and yeah, you're never a champ, but you're also a tough out for just about anybody. Like Barshov never had any of those. It's like lightweight Rebellis to Spain. Just like people just run into him and he just tips over. It's ridiculous.
And even with the striking, like he does things technically properly, like when it comes to like punching mechanics and kicking mechanics, like he's doing things properly, but he's just not punishing enough there. Like as a strike, if you're going to be like a striker only, like him, and have porous takedown defense, like you need to be punishing, and like he's just not like.
Ironically,
like true puncher.
Yeah. Ironically, since we're talking about Team Alpha Male, it reminds me of Dwayne Ludwig. Like Dwayne Ludwig was a better technical kickboxer than everybody he fought. He's a literal former ISKA world champ, but he would even lose striking battles to just people that were better athletes and had better power. Like Paul Daly knocked him out. It's not because Paul Daly's a better kickboxer. It's just Paul Daly just could beat him to the punch and hit him harder. And then, yeah, his takedown defense never got above poor. So, yeah, that didn't fly in 2010. It's not going to fly in 2025. Yeah, Barshov has kind of shown himself conclusively not to be UFC level.
And he's 8-7. Like his
pro
8-7-1. Yeah, 8-7-1. So like you shouldn't
3-6-1 in the UFC. Like that's bad.
He's here because of Faber and Dana's relationship with Faber. But there should be no male on the UFC roster with a 500 record. No matter what weight class, like it's just there's too many. It's just too deep. The pool's too deep.
I'm in report reading my mind. What might be a good segue into the cut list?
Yep.
The cut list. The UFC brings in 50 or 60 fighters a year through the Contender Series alone, let alone the ones they sign directly from regional promotions or because they have short-term needs. There's about 600 fighters on roster. The roster is churning. Some people got to go to make room for the new. It's a circle of life. You got anyone to cut, Dev?
I'm not gonna cut someone like Beneil Dariush. Number one, because he's only coming off of 1 loss.
Yeah.
But like he should, like, I wouldn't be mad if Beneil Dariush went away and kind of retired. I've got one person on my cut list, but I could totally be convinced. You could convince me three or four more.
Okay, well, I've got Slava Barshov. He's 3-6-1 in the UFC, and of his 3 wins, only one of them is over someone that's still in the UFC. Like Dakota Bush and Hamas Yontop are both gone. So he has a win over Maheshate, and yeah, nobody else that's on roster. Yeah. Are you good with him going?
I am good with him going. He's on my list.
I am kind of teetering back and forth on the whole Eric McConaughey thing. He's 1-2 in the UFC, and his only win is over Cody Brundage, who's no longer on roster. But he actually looked pretty good against Susurkayev, and his other loss was to Nursultan Ruzaboyev, and I don't think there's any shame in that. Like, if you feel strongly about it, he can go.
I give him another shot because he kind of looks like Khalil Roundtree.
Okay. Gerald Meerschaert has lost 4 in a row. He's been finished in 3 of them. He's been finished in the first round in the last 2. Are you keeping him?
No, he's got to go.
Gerald Meerschaert has to go. Circle of life. That's all I have in terms of cutting people.
Like, I'm not going to cut Mateus Camilo off a win, but like, I'm all like, there's definitely people where I'm like, they shouldn't be cut, but like, I'm not Would I be upset if they just like didn't have any more UFC fights? No.
Camilo certainly needs to show more than this if he wants to get another deal after this 4-fight deal is up. But
yeah, but sad to see GM3 go though, man. Like,
yeah. Oh, I've really enjoyed his career. Like, he's a Shillan and Duffy guy. We like the overachievers. We like the kind of one trick pony type specialists. Like, hell yeah. Like,
it's the time of him kind of getting clubbed and you know, fighting through and gritting through and figuring out a way to make something happen. It should have been way more short lived from him. Like he exceeded expectations based off his like athleticism and his true skill. So GM3, like a low key overachiever, even though he's on a 4-fight loss streak, and we're both saying he's got to go.
Oh, he should have had 0 wins in the UFC. Everything he's done is overachievement. If you had a loss to Jay Ellis, you probably never belonged in the UFC.
Boy.
And not only did he make it to the UFC, he guillotined like 8 people.
Whenever you say Jay Ellis, I just think about the time Keith said that he's just shadow boxing at a bus stop. Like, I think of like a dark, you know, like a dark night, and you know, like the bus stops are kind of lit up, and you just see him kind of shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor GM3 though, man. Especially the way he got club and subbed tonight. Yeah. He got up, he was like, "This sucks."
He strikes me as a guy that would probably be a great coach.
He probably already is, honestly.
Yeah. So we will see.
Yeah. And Duke Rufus is gone now. You know, rest in peace, Duke Rufus. And I'm sure they need an OG in that gym now more than ever.
Yep. Do you have any dudes seriously?
I do. I kind of discussed them already a little bit.
Well, if any of them need to be revisited, throw them out there. Otherwise, I have one.
Dude, seriously, like John Wood, traditionally a very great MMA coach, but you know, the corner advice for Zhang Wei Li, he would have been better off, you know, just been like, here, take this gun and go shoot her. Like you would have been better off handing Wei Li a burner weapon, you know, in the corner and told her to get to work. And then also too, dude, seriously, like I really did not like the commentary making the Zhang Wei Li Shevchenko thing like all about the weight difference. I thought it was way more than that. I thought it was just Shevchenko's skill.
It was more than that. It was. No, I agree with you. It was that we found out that Zhang is technically wanting when she doesn't have a huge advantage in physical horsepower. So I'm with you on both of those. Mine is also to do with the commentary, and I try not to go too hard on the commentary. It's a hard job. Like I'm happy going to town on Bruce Buffer because he has a very easy job, and 80% of it is pronouncing people's names right, and he can't do it. So, but commentary would be hard. So I'm not even claiming that I could do these people's job even as well as the ones who don't do a good job. But Joe Rogan is so obviously checked out.
Oh yeah, he's just bad.
Here's the one tonight. Fatima Klein takes down Angela Hill. And once Hill's back up, a couple minutes later, Rogan says, "We don't see Angela Hill taken down that often." I believe she has been taken down more times than anybody in the history of the strawweight division. She's been taken down 11 times in her last 6 fights before Klein took her down 3 times tonight. Like, seeing Angela Hill get taken down often is exactly what we get. It was as opposite the truth as any assertion he could possibly have made. It was so bizarre. Like, dude, seriously?
Let's pile on Rogan here. If I hear this mother effer talk about the Thai Cup one more time.
No. Because he doesn't follow the sport. Because he got fuck you money from Spotify like a couple of years ago. All we get out of him is the narrative that he glommed onto like 7 years ago. That's why we hear him just say either repeating the same things over and over again, like the Thai Cups, or, you know, people should just fight on like a big open basketball court, with no boundaries at all, like just his
With no time limit.
causes. Yeah. Or just stuff that's clearly counterfactual, like, oh, we don't see Angela Hill taken down that often. It's just he's so checked out. And I mean, I go back far enough that I can remember when people would debut in the UFC and he could talk intelligently about what they were doing in Pancrase this time last year. Like, he followed the sport as a whole. Obviously, that's 2003. By 2013, he's going, Sajara Eubanks is fighting for a UFC title and I've never seen her fight before, because that was a couple years after he started doing only pay-per-views and not fight nights. So at that point, he wasn't even watching all the UFC events anymore. And now it's just like, how much has he even thought about MMA since he landed in town this week?
And I kind of wanted to make a joke about you said, well, Joe Rogan hasn't seen Angela Hill taken down really ever before. It's probably because he's never watched an Angela Hill fight, and even if he was forced to watch it, he wasn't paying attention. That's probably why he never saw her get taken down. But like, I think there's actually a lot of truth in that. Like, I don't think he is the fight fan that he used to be. I don't think he like geeks out and watches tape like he used to. There'll be some nights where it's, for me, for example, I'm not comparing myself to him, but I'm sure you do this too. Where like the other night, I was just like, my lady was asleep, the dogs were all, and I was up still, and I was like, let me watch Khabib versus Conor again real quick. Like, I don't think he's doing stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think he's like, the other night I threw on like, what did I put on? What fight did I put on? It was like, the thing was like Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje 1, and I just like watched it. Like, I don't think he's doing that type of stuff anymore.
No. No, not even the due diligence on the fighters he's actually going to be talking about that week, like, let alone, and again, if I had $100 million in the bank, I probably wouldn't pay that much attention to my third job either. And that's what the UFC is for him now.
It's not even a job, probably, because I heard recently that like he's getting paid $50,000 for these shows, and $50,000 for Joe Rogan is like $5 for me or for you.
Yeah, like he has that in his couch cushions right now.
Yeah, like
no, but I think he likes being part of it. I think he likes being in the business. I think he likes talking to Dana. I think he likes talking to the fact that the fighters all treat him like royalty. Goes a long way.
The first thing they say, Kyle Dawkins was like, "Oh my God, hey mom, it's Joe Rogan."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't blame him for any of that. Just I watched the fights with a friend tonight, so I had the sound on, and I was reminded why I usually have the sound off.
Yeah. There's like, and I'm not gonna name drop, but like, there's so many other like fight companions that other talking heads do that are just going to give you better analysis than like the current UFC desk.
Yeah.
I think you could just totally chuck on YouTube and watch the fights and just have that audio going if you really wanted to.
Absolutely. Let's talk bulls and bears. Bulls, of course, are things that are good. Bears, things that are bad. You want to do bulls or bears first?
Let's get the bad out of the way.
Okay, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
All right, bears, things that were bad. Got to throw out Malcolm Wellmaker. Like, anytime you lose as one of the biggest favorites on the card, and it's your first career loss, and you looked terrible, that's got to be a stock down moment. Of the kind of red hot up and comers in those lower weight classes, he was always the guy, as one who's already past 30, that had the least margin for error. So for as much of like a running gag as the rise and fall of Bo Nickal has become for, us and you, if you're one of our people, like, Wellmaker's hype train is derailed in a way that Bo's never was after. Like, he has less time and less background to like rebuild after that. It was a bad night for Malcolm Wellmaker. I'll throw out Beneil Dariush. Missed weight, got blasted in 16 seconds. He looked like a guy that needs maybe to retire, but may or may not. And I will throw out as my last one, Leon Edwards. There's a reason that Edwards had to have a 10 or 11 fight unbeaten streak to get into the title picture, because he has a super dull personality. And while he was always a very talented, very intelligent fighter, his fights were not always super exciting. If he wanted to stay in the title picture at all, he needed this win, because any chance to bury this guy. And he got dusted. So bad night for Leon Edwards. Like, this is as close as he's going to be to a UFC title ever again. And he's not that old. But
no. This is like, and this happens to dudes at welterweight. Like, this really reminds me of like Tyron Woodley's like.
Yeah, you and I in a report both saying. Like, he looks generally the same, but just nothing works anymore, and the durability is gone, and the work rate has dropped through the floor. Yeah, that's not a bad comparison at all.
He lost. So he lost his championship fight to Bilal, where he lost like a full-blown MMA fight. Like, they did everything in that fight. They struck, they grappled, they wrestled, like, and he lost like just a very well-rounded MMA bout. And then against Sean Brady, he just lost like a high level, it's an MMA fight, but it was a very grappling based fight. And he just got completely out grappled and got subbed. Okay, well, now he's losing a fight on the feet. Like, he's lost every way that you kind of could. Like, kind of clearly one-sided decision. Oh my God.
There's the man.
Keith! What up?
What the?
I am still in Madison Square Garden. Right? It is 3 a.m. I have the train at 5:45, so I got 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we got to do 2 hours and 45 more minutes of the show, guys.
All right.
It'll be you by yourself. Where's Bo? Put Bo on camera.
What's up, guys?
I mean, we're actually just in the middle of the Bulls and Bears. We're about to go Bulls. Do you want to name a couple Bulls?
All right. I think number one, I mean, Islam winning a second title, obviously, but it's such a. All right, I'll give you this. I just moved out of the way because the guy's cleaning. So, all right. Obviously Islam was impressive, but I thought Hardin was horrendous today. He stalled for large portions of that fight. It should have been stood up more. It didn't get stood up once. He was stalling. I don't think it would have changed the outcome. Okay, I think if you stood him up, he would have got taken right back down. But
he'd have 13 takedowns instead of 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think it. But my point is he wasn't doing damage on top. Honestly, Valentina kind of similar, but Valentina was busier than Islam was. But so I mean, obviously that's one. Michael Morales the whole week. He's a huge star. He took on the highest ranked guy on the card, in the division, not counting the champion. He finished in the first round. He's now 19-0. And dude, this was the Michael Morales week. Half the media room was Spanish speaking audience that was traveling around just following Michael Morales. I went outside MSG. There's Ecuador flags everywhere. There's inside the arena there was he was the star of the week. And then, well, the obvious one, guys, come on. I think there's a bunch of balls. I think Erin Blanchfield avenging a loss. I think that's a huge one. I don't have to mention it anymore now that she avenged it. And Bo Nickal. And how about Ethan Ewing?
Dude,
he's fucking good.
Dude, he showed up. He said he showed up. He got the call. He had to cut weight before he got on a plane. Flew from Los Angeles to New York. Touchdown at the airport at 6:30. Drove from the airport an hour and a half. Got to the hotel at 8 and then stepped on the scale at 9. Never slept. Never anything.
Bless him.
And then stole all the hype from Malcolm Woolmaker. So that guy, that's incredible.
It was so impressive.
So impressive.
He said he was driving around all of California doing medicals, trying to find like doctors to get his medicals done and shit, even before getting on the plane. So a hell of a trip for that dude. 3 minutes into that fight, I stopped rooting for Wallmaker for my pick for the fantasy, and I just started rooting for Ewing because I thought he was so dope.
Dude,
he was awesome.
Speaking of which, here's one of the guys that has been following around Michael Morales. He's from
you were against Michael?
No, they're doing the show right now. We're doing a live show.
I know. They were with Brady?
No. So the guy, I don't know who the guy on the left picked. The guy in the middle, he went against him.
No.
This guy.
No perfect.
That's all right. We don't do that. Hey, nice seeing you guys. So, if you guys get a chance, you got to check out the Dana White's interview afterwards. A certain media member asked him about Apex cards, and he was not too happy about that.
Outstanding.
Good for you.
I'm sure you guys can guess who that certain media member was.
Lean into him.
I sure can.
I did. I almost
good.
I almost dug into more, but then I was just like, I didn't back off, but we just kind of stared at each other, and then I
should have arrested him for this tomfoolery.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The Apex was set up 5 years ago. If people who go to every single show asked him, I wouldn't have to ask him.
Yeah.
They just say that on live record. They just say that on live recording.
Yep, and I completely agree.
Me too.
Anyways, what was your general? I know I'm jumping in super late, and I'm going to listen to all this. I have 2 hours to waste.
I mean, I enjoyed the top two fights. Like, obviously, they were both kind of one-sided wrestling matches. I get that some people were kind of drumming their fingers, and the first fight was lousy, but in between, this was a damn good card. A couple of knockout of the year candidates.
Yeah.
Some surprises.
Yeah, from Bo to Morales, that 4-fight stretch in a row was incredible.
Yeah.
4 knockouts, all impressive. Yeah.
Carlos Prates.
Yeah, Prates. I think for Bulls, I'm gonna get out of here because I was just jumping in to bother you guys for a second. I'll let you guys finish the show, but I mean, Leon Edwards has to be a Bull. I mean,
a bear.
Excuse me.
Yeah, he was my top bear.
Oh, you guys already did your Bears?
Yeah, no. we already did the Bears. Yeah.
Any good dude seriouslys?
I called out Rogan saying that we don't see Angela Hill taken down that often. I'm pretty sure she's the most taken down strawweight in UFC history. 11 times in like her last 6 fights. Like, come on, Joe.
Wow, Fatima looked good though.
She looked fantastic.
She is good. She definitely, like, my notes are going up on her while we were doing it. All right. Anyways, this probably was a really fun card, but I just want to jump in and crash the party real quick and just tell all you bums you're not getting on the Bo Nickal bandwagon. I'm not letting you back on.
You gotta defend your throne.
Yeah. All right. If I get mugged tonight in New York City as I'm walking the street for the next 2 hours, I love you all.
All right, Kevin Holland will save you.
Yeah, there you go. See you guys.
See you, Keith.